Hi everyone, finally back with some interviews. I'm Sabrina with Center 21 and Vargas Photography. Today we have Heather, office manager at A1 Flooring. How are you?
Hey Sabrina, thanks so much for taking the time and having me to ask some questions and join you in this video. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's getting hotter out there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a sweaty person, so I know when summer comes for sure.
So we just mentioned that you're an office manager at Flooring. What does that entail?
Yes, so I am an office manager over at A1 Floors. We're a local family-owned and operated flooring company. It's my family who owns it, so it's a very personal, journey that we've been going on. And my job is kind of whatever, whatever hits me that day. So I hang out in the office, I help assist with orders, making appointments, scheduling installs, addressing questions, concerns, things like that. Just keeping things organized, navigated and in a timely manner so we can, keep happy customers, quick turnarounds, and all that good stuff.
That's good to know. It's nice meeting a lot of locally owned businesses. That's the key. That's the backbone of America, in my honest opinion. So it's great.
Absolutely.
Um, you're located in Raleigh, right?
Yes, we're located in Raleigh, North Raleigh, technically.
And where do you serve? Do you
So
go
we,
everywhere in North Carolina? Are there certain areas?
yeah, so we are limited to a 60-mile radius. However, it does cover a great surrounding area of the triangle. So we're in North Raleigh over by RDU, if that, means anything for everyone, Angus Barn kind of deal. But we service anywhere 60 miles from our office. So we go as far north as Oxford and as far south as Dunn. We go all the way towards Zebulon, Smithfield, Wendell, areas like that and areas like Sanford and Pittsboro as well. So we've got a really good circle of territory that we try to take care of without, driving our flooring specialists too far out of the realm.
Wow, that is not bad at all. Usually, like a lot of foreign companies, they have like a very small circle. But that's good
Absolutely.
that you guys are essentially doing the majority, if not nearly all of the triangle.
Yeah, absolutely.
What made you get into your parents' business?
So it's I always thought I would kind of end up here, but I did actually go to college for psychology. And my intentions were to go to get my master's and become a counselor. After I graduated, my dad was hitting about his 5-year point, and he basically opened the door to if I was interested in this, great opportunity to join him in a business he spent a lot of time and hard work building. And I can kind of come in, help him grow and perform, and potentially have a great option and opportunity for a source of income and for my life as a career for the future. So I decided to take it, not thinking I would be here still 3 years later. But I do joke, I use my psychology degree every day anyway between my coworkers and, our customers and whatever it might be. I feel like I'm always kind of there to be a listening ear or help, get everyone on the same page so they can feel good about their homes and their decisions and all that other good stuff.
That's good. And the thing that we were talking about earlier, which I think it's important to mention, we're both relatively young. We just, I also started real estate, wow, in my 20s? 20, early, yeah, 20, because I got my license in 2021. And you
Yeah.
started, give or take, around that time as well, right?
Yeah, I
With the
was
flooring.
21, I believe, when I started with him. Yeah.
So how does it feel being somebody so young and you're doing this career that you've got, I mean, I used to be a secretary for my dad. So I know like a lot of people looked at me like I didn't know crap.
Hmm.
Like how do
Yeah.
you overcome that? Do you have that stigma?
Um, Maybe in the beginning, because I really did not know much, but I personally feel as though I have, and I feel like my coworkers would say the same thing, earned my keep in a sense. I will answer your call as long as I'm not in bed by about 9 p.m. I am an early sleeper, but like I will take every call. I will talk to all the customers. I am open to learning and growing, and that is what I want to do. Um, I didn't ever think in my entire life I would be so responsible for so much. But it's been an exciting challenge and it really opens up your perspective. And I'm sure you can relate since you worked with your family and their business of just the difference and sense of pressure almost when you can't clock in and out of a job it's your job all the time, you know? Like if there's an emergency at 7:30, our office admin might not hear about it, but I'll know about it. My dad will know about it. Management will know about it, you know? So it's a different perspective that I don't think I ever considered before being in this position, you know? I didn't think about the bigger picture of it all. I just wanted to be good at my role. And now I'm like, every role is important, whether I'm involved in it or not, because it's, you know, our family business and we want to make sure we're doing right by our customers and our employees and ourselves.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that. I only worked for my dad a little bit. We did butt heads quite a bit, but he was also
It's
a
part of
lot
the
of
family
pressure.
business, you know?
Of course, he was also a lot of pressure. I mean, I'm first generation here in
Oh,
America, and so he essentially built this thing from nothing. It's a construction company.
oh
So my dad
wow,
was
that's
probably most
awesome.
likely working with a lot of flooring guys. Definitely.
Yeah, a male-dominated space too.
True, yes. Yeah, and being the secretary, even though I was only there for a short bit, he also was pushing me to get my real estate license. He and my mom actually, because I never thought real estate would be a me thing.
Yeah,
But it's crazy to see how much our parents take on with doing these businesses and how much that they do.
absolutely. That's a big part of why I wanted to do it is because like I feel like I good for us.
Okay, now we're back on after that small interruption. But we both figured out where we were at. I'm sure. How long have your parents been in the business? Like, when did they start the business?
So officially end of 2017, early 2018. Um, and then I kind of came into play into 2021. So they've been going for a while, all things considered. But like I said, it was that turning point when he asked me to come on. It was just a really impressive that he did the whole business by himself. He was the scheduler, the loader of the installers, the orderer, the sales rep, like he did it all. So he was finally
Dads.
reaching, yeah, no, seriously. I always joke I would never be able to work as hard as him, but if I could do like 50%, like I would still be crushing it out there. So he's a beast for sure at what he does.
It's so funny. It's like, even though we grew up in different areas, we have a roughly similar childhood just because of the way our dads work in these businesses. Um,
Absolutely.
so it's great that hopefully you'll be taking it on. I mean, like what? So you're doing flooring.
Hmm.
So what attracted you to it? Like, why did you decide to go to flooring instead of doing psychology?
Yeah. Yeah, great question. So initially, my dad is an older dad. He is in his 60s. So I have just been thoroughly blown away by what he has done with this business in such a short amount of time. He started it my freshman year of college. Like I don't know what dad entering their 60s decides to start a business when their youngest child, only child, is entering their freshman year of college, but he did it and he took it on and he he really took what was nothing and grew it into something so amazing. We've got 190 Google reviews, or our average is
Wow.
4.7. We've got 4.92 out of 5 on Better Business Bureau. Like he's just really done something amazing here. And I would love for him to work less, but still get those benefits of his hard work. Like if he were to leave A1 Floors and I wasn't here, it would either go somewhere random or it would just go away. And that doesn't feel right for how hard he worked. So that was what like led me to being interested in moving forward with this. Additionally, since then, I just feel like I've met so many amazing people, whether it be like through networking like Nicole or just our customers who, you know, take the extra time to share their kind words or think about us and like want to share how happy they are. That really is what like tips the scale for me because some days are harder than others, obviously. It's a very cyclical moving business. But it I feel so good and prideful knowing that like we have a great team that we send out to for your estimates. We've got a great office team that's staying on top of your product delivery, scheduling, and then we get to end it with like outstanding team of installers who we just feel great about sending to your home, who take the time to talk to you. Just some things that you don't get from big conglomerate businesses, and we're very prideful about.
Yeah, you're right. You really don't get that. And it's nice to not be in the regular type of job where you have to punch in and out each time because like you just mentioned, you meet new people. I meet new people every day that I wouldn't have met otherwise if I wasn't in this career.
Yeah.
And you probably have heard so many interesting life stories too.
Hmm.
And it probably like for me, it definitely makes me appreciate what I'm doing. Because I agree with you. Being in front of people and like getting to know them, that's amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought I was going to be like changing people's lives with my psych degree, you know? So it's really fun to see how I still get that human interaction benefit that I thought was going to be like my whole purpose, and in its own way still found its way to be like a big part of my life and work.
That makes sense. I mean, in real estate, people are telling me a lot of things more than just
I
what they're
bet.
looking for in houses. So like I'm sure you probably also hear the end because sometimes things can get emotional. I remember we've had quite a luck with the house that we're living in right now. Our floors got flooded because the refrigerator 2 weeks after we
Oh,
closed decided to give out. And it was emotional because, it's just like, dang. And so I'm
stressful.
sure you also hear people who are just like probably sobbing to you, and the fact that you have that background and you're able to like help them despite not being in the exact job description also helps strengthen your relationship. There's
Yeah,
probably a better way of saying
absolutely.
that, but
Yeah, no, but I get exactly what you're going for, and it's definitely true. I always joke that like me and my dad talk about you at the dinner table, or like I'll think about you when I have to go use the restroom at 3 in the morning. Like I'm very involved with our customers' lives, and like there are people that I will never forget that probably don't ever think about me again. But I'm like, oh, I remember when she called, and our daughter was so happy that she doesn't have that carpet anymore that made her feel, run down and congested, and now she's got like beautiful new hard surface flooring. And she's cartwheeling around having a great time or whatever. And I'm just like, I did not expect to feel so fulfilled from this, but I'm happy to be here doing so.
you're part of a great change in people's lives, and that there's no words to even describe that. So I totally get it.
Yeah, yeah.
Now we gotta talk about locally in Raleigh. So you're the first person that I've interviewed that's actually around my age. And a lot of questions I get, because I'm trying to convince my best friend to move down here, is
Oh,
like,
fun.
what is there? What is there? What's there? And I'm like, It depends where you go."
Yeah, like there are things I swear.
So what is there in Raleigh for somebody our age? What could they do?
So I am a little bit of a unique exception because I am a grandma in my own right and in my own way. That being said, I did move here from Brooklyn, New York, almost 10 years ago, and I hated it and thought there was nothing to do. But now, 10 years later, I couldn't even imagine moving back. If I had enough money, I'd buy a huge house down here anyway. Um, but basically, because I love the beauty and the nature of everything there is, my favorite thing to do when I don't have to be caught up with work and I have a weekend and it's nice out is go be outside in the sun and go on one of the many trails that we have to walk on. You'll definitely see a bunch of cute animals while you're out there, whether it's nature or dogs on a leash or whatever it might be. And you get your steps in, which I'm big about. I got my Fitbit. Like I love tracking my steps.
I've
So I
been
get to
doing
feel
the
good about it.
same thing lately.
It's the
Because you gotta
best.
stay fit in this career. Sometimes you're just sitting down at the computer all day.
Absolutely. I have to like actively make it a point in my office to like walk in circles or like walk around the building or something to get my steps in because it is a sedentary job for sure. But I do think that there is like a nightlife too for people who are into that and who can hang and rally. I just can't unless it's like at 6 p.m. But I do think that there's some
Honestly,
fun things.
same way. I'm in bed also by either 9 or 10 o'clock. I'm
Yeah,
also a grandma.
I need my
Um,
8 hours.
right, and I being in crowds is also not for me. I remember my first type of involvement down here was in a writers group. Haven't gone to a few meetings, but everybody was essentially older than me. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. Then I'm like, ooh, a knitting group. I go to a knitting group, and I'm like, wait a minute. There's nobody here anywhere close to my age. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, you're on a trend, but it's not the right way.
Um, what's your favorite place to shop up in Raleigh?
So there's a bunch of cute thrift stores in Raleigh. One that I like in particular, oh gosh, what is it called? I think it's Father and Sons Antiques or like Vintage. Or it's right by the Cam Art Museum in Morgan Street Food Hall. It's super fun. They have the cutest little glasses rack that I always get like a bunch of glasses when I'm out there, sunglasses, but they're not like real. They're like red with flames or whatever. They're just silly cute ones. And some of their stuff is pricey because it is like vintage and dated and everything. But that's a cute little shop around here. And then when you're just going to travel in North Carolina, I know that Asheville has a great Goodwill. It's humongous and it's got all the bins, and then they've got like a store connected. I've just never seen such a large Goodwill in my entire life. So I'm a big thrifter. I like to thrift.
I've been trying to get into it more, but like I need a thrifting buddy. So hey, maybe we should just meet up at some point and just
Yeah,
like go on thrifting
absolutely.
finds.
That would be fun. I'm always down to get some girlies together and just go out and like look at a bunch of clothes until we want to now melt into a puddle because we've done too much work for the day. And then, the time's
Yes.
over.
Favorite place to eat. Eat is a big thing. I found some good places. Technically my fun one, I guess I can't take the credit. When we were here down touring Sanford and figuring out whether or not this would be the right place for us. Like food is huge. What do you recommend for food?
Absolutely. Well, I'm actually more towards that kind of area as well. So my suggestion, if you like Mediterranean food, is Nils Cafe over in Fuquay. It's a little bit of a drive probably from Sanford, but it is so delicious and so yummy. And I believe that they're local and family owned and operated as well. So I do like to kind of stay in that niche when and where I can. There's a version of that in their own right. It's a little more of like a kava style, but it's smaller and more locally owned as well. And they're called Pita Bowl. They're over in Raleigh. They have two locations now, I believe. But I love the staff there. They're so kind and friendly, and their food is great too. I actually literally have it here with me for to eat when we're done with this. So I love a good Pita Bowl. And then anywhere with like some sushi. I feel like we've got some great sushi spots, which I was nervous about when we moved here because I was so close to the beach in Brooklyn compared to how far we are now from like the
Yeah,
coast. And I was like,
that makes
is
sense.
sushi ever going to be the same? But as long as you find like a good spot, then there's an array of options in the area. So you're in good hands.
I never tried sushi before, but I understand the not being close to the ocean because in Rhode Island, the ocean's like right there.
Yeah, no, that
And
is,
now I'm
I
like
can't
two
believe it.
hours and a half, 3 hours away from it. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, like you missed out. No, there's still good sushi opportunity, and I'm a big I that's probably like my favorite kind of food is sushi.
So we talked about favorite restaurants. We talk about favorite places to shop. What's your favorite thing to do in Raleigh when you have a day off and it's during the day?
Oh my gosh, like a weekday during the day, I haven't even imagined. No, if I'm not hiking is a walking trail. I'm not like actively hiking. I feel like that's a misleading word from what I'm actually doing. So if I'm not walking on a cute little nature trail, then I probably like I love a good farmers market visit. They got a great lemonade stand. They are also local. And the girls there are great. And they give you like this little stamp card. So I'm working my way towards my free lemonade. So I do like to go over there, get some fresh vegetables, try to convince someone to buy me a fruit tree. And then I go back home because nobody does it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. And then I'm a big, like you said, I'm an outgoing introvert. So when I'm done with my week, I love to be by myself in my bed with my dogs, like laying, resting, recharging. But I do need my like 1 to 2 time a week socialization to get like my energy and my thoughts out.
No, that makes sense. So I'm technically the opposite of you. I'm an introvert extrovert, something like
Okay.
that. I don't know. The terminology. Like for me,
I
I
get
have
the
to get
energy though.
comfortable. I gotta get comfortable, and then once I'm comfortable, I'm more relaxed.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It is definitely more socially draining to hang out with newer people than it is people I'm more familiar with because, you're more relaxed.
Now, out of curiosity, since you talked about that you're from Brooklyn, New York, what made you move down here?
My parents. My dad was ready to leave New York for a very long time coming. And he was just kind of over the hustle and bustle, the cold weather kind of deal. And he researched very long and very hard. And he settled on Apex, North Carolina, because that was the best place to raise a family at the time. We didn't end up there, but we ended up pretty close there. And it was during 8th grade, so I was about to enter my freshman year of high school. So horrible time for me, but sensible time to like do something. So after going back and forth between would it be Florida or North Carolina or whatever, it ultimately always circled back to North Carolina. And it was truly like years of research. And so, I just kind of gave in. And I think it was a great decision for me and my family overall. I think it helped my parents, like, find themselves in their own relationship in their own way and strengthen it. And I feel like it was great for me and my opportunity. I don't know what my life would have been like if I stayed in Brooklyn. I feel like I would definitely be a different person, and not in a bad way, but just different. But I do like how I've like grown into a calmer, more relaxed, more, I feel like kinder almost. Like I'm just an overall more like zen person. And I do appreciate that for my own mental.
Oh, you're right. Rhode Island, it was also the same way. It was always in a hurry. It was always like there was always nonstop. Here, like people are so relaxed. I'm like, okay, this is nice. This is great.
Yeah.
I moved here because my father-in-law got a job promotion. He's like, hey, I'm going. And I've been with my boyfriend. We're coming up on 4 years this month. And we were talking about it because at first I was against it. No, moving, the stresses of moving, not knowing
Yeah, and it's
anybody.
far. It's culturally
Yeah.
definitely a little different.
But it was a great decision also, and it seems like everyone that I've talked to thus far who has moved from somewhere else to North Carolina really liked their decision. Like there's
Hmm.
no regret, and that just goes to show you the beauty of North Carolina.
Yeah, that's true.
Any last thoughts?
Nothing really, besides I really appreciate you taking the time. I think it's super cool what you're doing and such a unique way to go about trying to find your place and your comfort over here in Raleigh in that general area. So, best of luck. Hopefully your bestie can move down here and maybe we can all go thrifting.
Yes, she's also a big thrifter too.
Okay,
Uh,
perfect. So between all of our powers, we can just take over every Goodwill in the area.
Not even that, the fact that they're like you were saying earlier, the locally owned thrift stores, it took me, I couldn't even find any or barely any up in Rhode Island. I was only finding the
Oh,
Goodwill and
interesting.
Savers.
Okay. I'm
And the
trying
ones
to.
that were somewhat locally owned, there wasn't much, in my opinion. Somebody could like I could get disagree, people could disagree. There were not good things there.
Yeah, yeah. No, we're lucky because we have all the options, which means if we don't love the things in option A, there's still option B and C and D. But there's also cause for pause, which I love because they have cats that they help get adopted out and they're just in the thrift store. So you love that
They're
too. You
in
get to,
thrift stores.
yeah, I think that I believe they're typically put up in like a little kennel or something, but it's so cute. You get to say, hey, like they're not like away from you, like they're in there. And I'm sure if you wanted to like see and hang out with the cat, they would manage a way to work that out if you were genuinely interested in adopting. But I love that. I
Yeah.
think that that's such a cute, fun little idea.
Yeah, I've heard even in Fuquay, it's not a thrift store, it's a cafe
The
place.
cat cafe, I have not been,
Yeah.
but I've heard great things about it too, and they serve boba, so that's exciting.
I also have yet to go there. My family and I, when they came to visit me, we tried going, but the timing never added up.
Yeah, you have to make
But like, it's
reservations too.
nice that they're doing something to help get these animals adopted. So that's cool that
Yeah,
you mentioned that. But
absolutely.
I think that's it for all my questions. I
Awesome.
think I gotta come up with more, but I feel like people are gonna get a good idea of a sense who you are,
Yeah.
about A1 flooring and about Raleigh in general, because it is the capital of North Carolina and it's booming. It's booming and it's spilling over to all the nearby cities,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna have to move like an
Fuquay,
hour away.
Marina, Stanford, probably some
Yeah.
others that I'm not naming off the top of my head. So it's growing. And you're right in the middle of it, but yeah, it's still better than the past home.
Yeah, no, it's definitely in its own way. Like I'm glad that I grew up in Brooklyn. I think everyone should live in a city like that for like 6 months of their life because it's just like in its own way, there's a different sense of like community, like between everybody. It's more unspoken, which I don't mind because I'm not the best like, hey, neighbor kind of gal. But I really do appreciate what I've learned and gotten from growing up in Brooklyn. But like I said, I just think overall because it was so beneficial for everyone I love and care about around me too. It just, ultimately like I was fighting it for so long. And now I'm like, I can't believe I wasted all that energy. It's not so bad. That was exhausting. Like,
Sometimes moving really helps the family grow. I've
yeah.
definitely been seeing that with myself and my in-laws and my partner.
Yeah, yeah, because it's important at the end of the day, like you are all that you have, even with all the great people, but like family's family. And so it's nice to be able to have those people who will be with you through these weird changes and environments and growths and whatever else.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But now, if anybody has any more questions about Raleigh, I mean, I'm gonna be sending them your way. And if any,
Wonderful.
especially if they
Absolutely.
need any flooring changes when
Yeah,
if they buy
please
a house.
do. Please do. Not only that, if you do, make sure they tell us that Sabrina, is it Soares?
Mhm.
Sabrina Soares recommended A1 floors. That way, after we do the professional installation, we can thank you. We do send typically a check for, keeping the money in the community. It's 2% of the pre-tax total now, but we've been shopping about maybe doing something different because 2% might be weirder to digest as a consumer than just a flat number. But we do basically more or less we like to thank you, keeping money in the community instead of, having someone go out. You think of us, local, family owned, and we like to say thank you in return.
That's something I'm trying to grow, is trying to connect to more locally owned. So that way, like all the clients that I talk to, they have somebody locally owned and it's not just a chain.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And like your calls don't get screened here or anything like that. Like they're real people and they're not only real people, but they live like right next door to you. It's not like they're out in Iowa at the headquarters.
You definitely get a lot of like, in the runaround. Don't forget the runaround.
Yeah, absolutely.
But thank you so much for your time. It was great getting to know you. I mean, I had a blast.
Yeah, you as well,
I've been having
Sabrina.
a
We'll
blast
chat
with,
outside of this for sure.
oh yeah. It's been great interviewing like all the people. And I'm so glad that Nicole introduced us to each other.
Yeah, I know you said that crowds and networking sometimes can be, intense, but if you are free ever, you should come to our networking group, even if it's just as a guest and you don't want to commit. There's a great group of women, and maybe you can get them a little more committed to doing a video by being in person. And there's a handful of us, but it's not like, 50 people in the room. So it would be fun. It would be fun if you ever think about it.
I'll look into it. I'll ask Nicole for some more information.
Yeah,
And that's
absolutely. And I
also
can
another
send you some
great
stuff
thing
after.
for any like women entrepreneurs who are moving here and they're getting the sense of all this womanhood that we have, which is fabulous. I'm loving it.
Absolutely. I was a women gender study minor, so I don't mess around. I'm team gal all the way.
Yes. Well, have a nice rest of your day. Stay cool.
Thank you. Yeah, you as well. And enjoy
Thank you.
Sanford.
I'm actually in Spring Lake. I was in Sanford, Italy today.
Oh, okay, cool, cool. Well, you have a great rest of your Thursday.
Thank you. You as well. It was nice talking to you.
You too. Bye, Sabrina.
Bye.